Hi everyone, Heather here with Astrology with Heather.com, and I am back with another super exciting weekly forecast. And this one is for Monday, May 27th, all the way through to June 2nd of 2019. And this week we have actually a lot of really nice, pleasant, beautiful energy in the astrology again, so good news. We're starting off the week with Mercury squaring Neptune, which could be a little bit of weirdness, where we might be a little bit foggier, we might not have the mental clarity that we're used to, and we might be more prone to deception, disillusionment, that type of energy. However, we will be thinking more idealistically, we will be thinking more expansively, our mindset will be much more positive, and we'll be able to see things from the bigger picture and the broader perspective, with Mercury in opposition to Jupiter as well. And so it kind of balances that energy out. It's not a terrible energy, but if you're trying to make a really important major decision, especially at the middle of this week, because this comes exact on Wednesday, you might not be thinking clearly. And if you get an offer or a message from somebody that seems too good to be true this week, it might actually be too good to be true. So you want to make sure that you're using your discernment and that you're staying grounded throughout the week, especially when it comes to making important decisions or communicating effectively, because there is going to be this energy where you might be more prone to stretching the truth, or where you might be more prone to saying something that isn't necessarily what you mean, or conveying information in a way that's confusing, so people don't take it at face value, or they don't take it for what you're intending to say. And so this can cause issues where people feel deceived, or where you might actually deceive someone either intentionally or unintentionally, or you might be on the receiving end of some form of deception. And so you want to pay close attention and just make sure that you're being extra discerning. And if you have an important decision to make, I would say wait until later in the week, especially Friday and Saturday have really nice energy. And so that could be a better time to move forward with something if you do have that energy coming up, and if you do have something you have to decide on, or an important communication that you have to really follow through with, especially toward the middle of this week. And so, but it is a good energy. We're going to be feeling more, again, like more optimistic. People will be in a better mood this week. But, you know, in terms of the information that's coming in, it might not be what it appears to be. And oftentimes I notice that when we have Mercury, Neptune squares or conjunctions or oppositions going on, that there's a lot of misinformation and deception and things like that going on, especially in the media and in people's personal lives too. It can come about. So just be a little extra cautious when it comes to what you're believing and what you're buying into this week. But as we come into the later half of this week, as we come into especially Friday, but even really starting Thursday we have that Mercury opposition to Jupiter, which, you know, is us seeing things from a bigger, more expansive, more optimistic perspective. People are going to be more enthusiastic in their communication and in sharing ideas. They're going to be thinking more deeply about what it is that they want to convey. And then we have this beautiful energy coming in this week with Venus, which is in its home sign in Taurus. So Venus does really well in Taurus. It's already supported there. It's at home. It's its natural energy. So it enhances our ability to experience beauty, to experience pleasure, to indulge in the sensory experience in a positive way. And that's already happening. It's already been happening with Venus transiting through the sign of Taurus. But this week, Venus is actually going to come into a really nice trine with Saturn and Pluto. And this is going to really enhance an energy that has been very difficult, but in a positive way. And so Saturn and Pluto have been in this conjunction for quite some time now. It's not exact, but it's within 3 degrees still. And we've been experiencing the more difficult energies of Saturn and Pluto for the past couple of months. And then the past couple of weeks, we've actually been having a more positive expression of this coming out, because it's been hit by a lot of trine aspects, which are positive aspects from other planets. And so this is helping us to figure out very easily how we can come back into balance, how we can really work on letting go of oppressive, restrictive situations in our lives once and for all, so we don't have to carry them with us moving forward, so we can let go of any extra baggage, any difficult responsibilities in relationships that are too burdensome, that we don't want to carry with us moving forward. And so this is going to help us to really reflect on that and to come up with some really tangible ways that we can make changes in our lives, in our relationships especially, but also when it comes to finances, because especially with Venus and Taurus, Taurus rules finance. So this is also looking at material possessions and how we can get more grounded in this area, how we can connect with what we truly desire on a material financial level, and how we can connect with that in a way that's stable and sustainable and long lasting. And so this is a time where we can reflect on those energies a lot more easily, and where we can find very practical and pragmatic ways to connect with beauty in our lives that are sustainable. This is also going to be a really beautiful energy for enhancing stability and longevity and recommitting ourselves and reigniting our passions in important relationships. And so if you've been having a struggle in relationship, this could be a week where you can find a solution. If you've been feeling bored in relationship or feeling disconnected from your relationships, this is a week, especially for certain signs, which we'll get into in the forecast for all 12 signs, where you can reignite those passions in a way that's stable and long lasting. And so you can recommit yourself to your partner, or to an important business partnership, or an important friendship even, where you're reinvigorating that energy, because we have this Pluto aspect, which is a very deeply empowering, restorative, regenerative energy that's impacting our relationships. So this is like a rebirth of our relationships with Saturn in a way that's very practical and stabilizing and long lasting. We also have the energy of Neptune coming into play here with Venus. And Neptune with Venus is always a really dreamy, idealistic energy in relationships. It helps us to feel much more compassionate toward the people that we connect with. It helps us to feel much more charitable and empathic when we're interacting with others. And so it helps us to understand that we're all connected, and to really experience and sense that interconnectedness, and to form really deep spiritual bonds with the people around us. This is also an energy that's deeply creative. And so especially if you're interested in taking something that you've been dreaming of or fantasizing about, a creative pursuit or passion, and channeling that into something very practical with that Saturn energy. So maybe even turning a creative pursuit into a business, or taking something that you've been envisioning and building it in real life. This is a time where that can really be enhanced, especially at the end of this week. Friday and Saturday in particular have very nice energy on an electional level, and with the transits going on with Venus. And so it's a really great time to, set things in motion, or to complete things, because we are in a waning moon, that have been set in motion, and to move on to the next phases. So we have some really great energy going on this week, and so I'm excited to tell you about that. It's always nice, especially because we're coming into eclipse season in like a month. So, this is sort of like a winding down from the craziness that was the last couple of months, and a time to sit back, relax, and also to prepare ourselves for what's coming up in eclipse season. And I am planning some special videos around the nodes and the eclipses. I got a lot of really great suggestions from you guys when I posted, asking about what kinds of tutorials you guys want to hear about and what you want to learn in astrology. And so thank you so much for all of you who responded. I'm definitely going to do some stuff on the nodes and the eclipses for eclipse season, because a lot of people requested that. And since eclipse season is coming up, I figured that's a great place to start. And I wrote down all of your suggestions. So at some point in the next year, because you guys gave me so many, a lot of your tutorials that you suggested are going to exist on this channel. So just keep an eye out and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Oh, and then I do want to make a quick announcement, or just like two quick announcements. First, I started a new group on Facebook called Astrology Stories. This was a suggestion from a friend of mine who I've been working with, who had this really great idea to create a community around just sharing stories in astrology, or related to astrology. And I took it and kind of ran with it and turned it into a Facebook group, and you guys have already been joining and having conversations and adding to the conversations that are already existing in there. And so this is a great place to learn about astrology in action through people's real life experiences with certain aspects or positions or placements in the chart. And I'll be posting questions and giving feedback, and joining in on the conversation too. So I'll post a link for that down in the description below. It's a fun little group and just a little free resource and community for all of you guys, because I like connecting with you, and there's so many of you, it's hard to connect more, in real time. And so I like doing things like that. And then also, if you are a Cancer sun sign, your birthday's coming up next month, and I have your Cancer solar return forecast ready for you. It's going to be available for download on June 1st. And it's going to be a big one for Cancers, you guys. You guys are having a lot of eclipses, not just for your solar return for some of you, which means it's going to be a life-changing year, but also, in December and in January, and you have these oppositions from Saturn and Pluto. So a lot of Cancers are going through major upheavals and major phases of change and transformation in this coming year. And so I'm excited to be able to give you some insight into that. And you can still pre-order yours to get a discount, to get it for, what is it, $2 off, $3 off, down in the description below. It's going to be on sale or on pre-sale all the way through until the video is officially released on the 1st, which is on Saturday. So you have one last week to get your pre-orders in for that Cancer solar return forecast. And if you are any of the other sun signs, your forecast is either already available or you can pre-order it down in the link in the description below. All right, and then as always, if you want to book a personal reading with me, I am always open to that. The link is down in the description below as well. So let's get into this now that we've gotten all that out of the way. Let's see here. And I always forget, you guys, to put up the chart. I'm going to put it up while I talk about your signs. Where is it? Why is it not happening? Oh, that's weird. Okay, I guess I'm not putting up the chart. It just doesn't exist now. But I do have your signs to pull up. I swear I had a chart there, and this is the second time I'm trying to record this video because I messed up the first one, so I don't know where it went. But anyway, me with my tech issues all the time. I don't know why they let me have a YouTube channel. I don't know what I'm doing. So let's start with the forecast for all 12 signs. As always, beginning with Aries, the first sign in the zodiac. And so for Aries and for Aries rising, this is going to be a week where you might have a lot on your mind. You might be taking some time to make new plans, to learn new skills, to focus on the bigger picture and the broader perspective, to ask the deeper questions, to do the introspective work with this opposition between Mercury and Jupiter in your 3rd and 9th house. And so this is a great week for study. This is a great week for exploring deep philosophical concepts. This is a great week for travel too. So if you're in Aries and you have a chance to go out and have an adventure, this is an excellent week to do so. And then in terms of the energy with this Taurus, Venus and Taurus trine to Saturn and Pluto, this is happening in your 2nd and in your 10th house. And so this is a really great week to initiate some sort of new project that helps to create a better foundation for yourself when it comes to your career path moving forward and when it comes to your financial stability. And this is a really great time if you want to appeal to somebody in a position of power or authority in a way that's going to help you to generate more income. So, asking for a promotion or teaming up with somebody who's in an authoritative position within your field. All of these things can be very beneficial for you. This is a great time to visualize what you want when it comes to your financial situation and when it comes to how that relates to your career and what it is that you're putting out there into the world, and to work on ways to manifest that into reality so you can create a better balance for yourself financially. You might be feeling like you want to indulge maybe more in financial purchases for luxurious things or things that are really well made or long lasting, and you have the green light to do that this week, especially coming into Friday and Saturday. And so I would say go for it. All right, and then for Taurus and for Taurus rising, so this, first off, the opposition between Jupiter and Mercury is happening in your 2nd and in your 8th house. And so this is a great week for brainstorming and gathering ideas related to finances and how to deal with difficult financial situations, because you'll be able to see the bigger picture and broader perspective. You'll be able to view things much more optimistically and come up with real solutions that can benefit you in a number of different ways, especially when it comes to issues involving joint finances, debt, taxes, inheritance, investments, anything that has to do with money that is not created through your own efforts and your own hard work, because you've had Jupiter transiting through the 8th house, which is already bringing benefits to this area. And so this is something that you can really ponder and come up with some really great ideas for this week. The energy of Venus is happening in your sign. And so especially if you have your Taurus sun or rising or even your moon around 19 degrees in the sign of Taurus, so anywhere from 17 to 21 degrees, you're going to be feeling this really nice trine that's going to be very tranquil and rebalancing and restabilizing. It's going to ignite your passions about the things that you believe and the things that you really truly value. It's going to help you to connect who you are on the outside and the way that you project your energy outwardly to your deeply held beliefs and the structures that you create through your mindset and your philosophical and ethical and moral belief systems that frame your reality. So this is a week where you can come back into balance through aligning yourself more greatly with your integrity. This is also a week where you might feel more attractive, more sexual. You might feel like you're more charismatic this week, and you might actually be. People will be more drawn to you. Your appearance might be enhanced. If you are a Taurus with your rising or sun sign around that 19 degrees, this is a great week to get a haircut, especially with that Pluto Saturn energy, which is about purging and releasing, and that Venus energy on your ascendant, which is about beautifying your appearance. If you want to have like a haircut that's going to last long and it's going to cause you to look much more beautiful, this is a week to do that, or for some sort of cosmetic procedure or something along those lines. Not necessarily like a surgical procedure that we would have to go deeper into, but doing minor things, getting a makeover, buying that new lipstick, buying those new clothes. But in general, you're going to be exuding more of this like sensual energy, and people are going to be much more drawn to you this week. So it's a really nice energy. And if you are a Taurus sun sign and you were born this week, especially into this weekend, you're going to have Venus conjunct your sun. And so this is a whole year where you're going to feel much more stable, much more solid. You're going to be feeling much more grounded, but you're also going to feel much more beautiful, much more charismatic, and people will be more drawn to you, and relationships will be enhanced and highlighted throughout the year this year. And if you want to learn more about that, you can get your Taurus sun sign forecast. Actually, it's Gemini season now. Sorry. So you wouldn't be born this week. Gemini is already happening, guys. It just moved into Gemini. I'm so sorry about that. I'm a little all over the place today, apparently. But if you are having this energy, it is going to be affecting you this week. It's not going to affect you in your solar return, because that would have already happened for Taurus. And then, this is a week too where you can enhance your creativity. This is a great week in general for connections and relationships, especially in friendships, where you can form deep spiritual bonds with groups of people, or you can join some sort of group that does something charitable, altruistic. This is a great time for giving back or for connecting with other people in creative endeavors and pursuits. For Gemini and for Gemini rising, this Mercury opposition to Jupiter is happening in your 1st and 7th house. And so this is a really great time for you to have important conversations, especially coming into later into the week, like on Thursday. I would wait until after Wednesday because of that square going on there. But to have important conversations in partnership, or to gain a sense of perspective or a newfound sense of optimism about important relationships, connections, collaborations, contracts, agreements, those types of matters. With Venus in your 12th house, this is a great time for you to come back into balance by focusing on your spiritual practices, focusing on what's going on subconsciously, behind the scenes, behind closed doors. This is also a really great week to enhance your creativity, especially as it relates to work-related projects. So anything that's going to enhance your career success moving forward when it comes to a creative endeavor. So especially for those of you that are in a spiritual or creative career path, which you might be, this is a really great week for you to have some really great ideas and to enhance your success in those areas, to create something that you can really put out there into the world where people can really appreciate it, for mass consumption almost. This is also a time where going inward and spending time in meditation, spending time in contemplation, solitude, seclusion, going on some sort of spiritual retreat, even going on a spiritual retreat with a partner could actually be a really nice energy too, with Venus in the 12th house. But doing these types of things can help you to really come back into balance and to figure out ways to work through and work on this difficult energy that's been going on in your 8th house, which is the house of death. It's the house of transformation. It's the house of death and rebirth, right? And it's also the house of power struggles. And so if there's anything that's been disempowering you, especially in relationships this week or finances this week, spending time focusing inward, spending time in meditation, spending time just doing introspective, deep work is really going to help you to figure out solutions to these problems and to break free from that oppressive energy that's been disempowering you, that maybe you've been afraid to face. All right, and then for Cancer and for Cancer rising. So this energy is happening with the opposition to Mercury and Jupiter in your 6th and your 12th house. And so there is a need to come back into balance between the day-to-day busyness of everyday life and your sort of need for solitude, seclusion, introspection, spending time just kind of doing what you need to do this week. And so, there is a need to kind of come back into balance there. But if you spend time in meditation, if you spend time paying attention to your dreams, to visions, to impressions that come to you from like alternate places through your subconscious realms, then this is really going to help you to enhance your day-to-day experience through work, through your connections with coworkers, through your health and daily routines. And so this is a time where you can get a better sense of perspective as to why you're doing what you're doing every single day, especially if you take that time out for yourself. And you can have a lot of great benefits that can come to you through developing better routines and better habits moving forward. The energy with Venus is actually happening in your 11th and 7th house. And so this is a great week for relationships for Cancers. This is a great week to go out there, to spend time with friends, especially close friends who are very loyal, and especially old friends that you've been connected with for quite some time. This is a great week where a lot of benefits can come, and those relationships can be enhanced and reinvigorated and restabilized, and you can recommit yourself to important friendships or important connections with groups of people or organizations that you really feel dedicated toward, or that you've already spent and dedicated a lot of time into making those connections and connecting with those networks. This is also a really great time where, let's see here, this is a good time for spiritual exploration as well. And so connecting with friends or groups of people in a way that allows you to explore different spiritual topics, to look at different philosophies, religious belief systems, or to really get into some form of higher education that involves spirituality or creativity in some sort of way. This is a week where you can really do that. So going to a class where you're studying something a little bit deeper, going to a class where you're learning a new creative pursuit, those types of things can be, really beneficial, and you can actually make a lot of really positive connections with new people in those types of settings this week. All right, and then for Leo and for Leo rising. All right. And so for you guys, this opposition between Mercury and Jupiter will be happening in your 5th and in your 11th house. And so this is a great week for you to think about new and exciting plans where you can connect with your friends by doing things that you really love to do, by enhancing the energy of your creative passions, your hobbies, your interests, joy, connecting with joy in new and exciting ways. This is a great week for communication with groups of people, especially after the middle of this week when that Mercury-Jupiter opposition is enhanced and that Neptune energy is a little bit less. Because otherwise you might be a little bit more prone to being deceived by people in your social circle. But later on this week, the energy is a lot lighter and a lot nicer, where you can see things from that broader vantage point. And you can have some really optimistic, really deep, really expansive conversations with people that can be really exciting and that can ignite your passions about something new that maybe you didn't realize you were passionate about. The energy of the trine between Saturn and Venus is happening in your 6th and your 10th house. And so this is a time where the hard work and the effort that you've been putting in, toiling away every single day toward your long-term goals and plans when it comes to work, it can be paid off. It can pay off this week. And so it can pay off by receiving some sort of recognition or praise from somebody in a position of power and authority, or from your audience if you're on some sort of public platform. This could also be an energy where money can come in as a result of the hard work and the effort that you've been putting in, especially if you've been working on releasing patterns and energies and oppressive situations that don't serve you in your workplace and with your coworkers and things of that nature. So this is a time where, you know, a lot of blessings and good energy can come in as a result of the efforts that you've already been putting in the 6th house area, because you've probably been very busy. You've probably been dealing with a lot of burden when it comes to your day-to-day experience and your workload. And so now is a time where you start to see a payoff. And this is also a time where reaching out to somebody higher up can help you to understand what you need to let go of and how you need to restructure your day-to-day routines and activities in order to create a better situation for yourself when it comes to your work and your career path moving forward. All right, and then for Virgo and for Virgo rising, this energy with Mercury and Jupiter is happening in your 10th and your 4th house. And so, you know, this is a good time for first off this week, you're going to be thinking a lot about your career, your public status, what it is that you're doing with your career path moving forward. And, you know, it is a time where you can come back into balance by also focusing a little bit of your energy and attention on your home, your family, what goes on behind the scenes. Getting your house in order is going to be very beneficial to you this week, and it can help to free up some energy so you can get a better perspective on what's going on career-wise, and you can make better decisions for yourself moving forward. The energy with Saturn and Venus is happening in your 5th and your 9th house. And so this is a really great time right now where connecting with somebody, you know, in terms of somebody maybe in a foreign country or a teacher or somebody you can look to as a source of wisdom and inspiration can help you to figure out how to release some of the burdens going on in your 5th house. So when you have Saturn and Pluto transiting through your 5th house, romance can feel a lot like work. It can feel more burdensome and oppressive than maybe it's worth to you. It can also feel like you're restricted and limited in your ability to connect with your passions and the things that you love to do. But this is also a great time to turn your passions into something practical like a business. And so looking to somebody who has already been there, done that, who has gained wisdom and knowledge through experience, and connecting with them on an interpersonal one-on-one level can really help to give you the insight that you need to break free and break through. This is also going to be an energy with Venus in a sextile to Neptune that can enhance your close personal relationships. It can help you to have more deep spiritual connections in your close partnerships, in friendships, in romantic partnerships or otherwise. So this is going to help you to get a sense of sort of a more spiritual perspective on your relationships, and it can help you to deepen your connection in important relationships moving forward. All right, and then for Libra and for Libra rising. So this is happening in your 9th and in your 3rd house. And so this is a week where you might have some big ideas. This is a week where you're going to be thinking and contemplating quite a bit. And it's a great week to engage in some sort of educational pursuit, or to engage in planning or organizing or some sort of like trip, a short distance or long distance trip. This is a great week for travel for Libra rising people in particular. The energy of Venus and Saturn is happening in your 8th and in your 4th house. And so you've had this sort of oppressive, difficult energy going on involving your home, your family, your property, your place of living, your family structure, or bringing up old fears, traumas, insecurities from your early childhood experience and bringing that out into the open, and you're having to work through it and address it. And, you know, it can feel very heavy and very oppressive while you're in the midst of it. But this week is a week where, you know, potentially that could be alleviated. If you're having some sort of issue with the family or issue with your home that's involving finances, or that could be alleviated through money coming in, this is a week where you might be able to come back into balance by enhancing your money or your resources through an outside source, through, you know, taking out a loan or through inheritance or through some sort of investment of some kind. And you can channel that into restructuring your home. You could do that very literally, taking out a loan for some sort of renovation to beautify your home, or to really restructure the foundation, or to make it much more solid, right? A much more solid living place if something isn't necessarily up to par or up to your standards. This could be a time where you might be dealing more effectively with power struggles and control issues in important family relationships, and you might be able to get to the bottom of things and to come back into balance and to feel much more empowered within those relationships related to family. And so, yeah, so that's what's going on this week. There could also be some sort of creative endeavor when it comes to your work or your daily routines, or, if you're dealing with health issues, doing some sort of energetic or spiritual form of healing could actually help you to restore and regenerate your energy this week. So thinking about those types of things too. Let's see here. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. So this energy with Mercury and Jupiter is happening in your 8th and in your 2nd house. And so this is a week where you can come back into balance when it comes to your finances by making a new plan, especially a plan related to utilizing the resources that are coming in the 2nd house, because you have all these great benefits coming with Jupiter in the 2nd house. It might not be a financial windfall, but usually with Jupiter in the 2nd house, you have a little bit more wiggle room, or it's just a little bit easier for you to deal with your financial situation. And with this opposition to Mercury, you can utilize this to help you to deal with difficult situations involving debt, involving other people's money, involving taxes, involving inheritance. And so this can help you to come up with a plan to enhance that area of life as well, or to deal with any sorts of disempowering issues that are going on the other end of the spectrum. And so, this could look like you figuring out a way that you can funnel in some more money to pay off some debts. This could look like you figuring out a way to, get a chunk of money and put it toward a new investment or something like that, or helping a partner to create more resources. All of these things could come about, but especially after Wednesday, because on Wednesday in particular, you might be feeling very idealistic about some sort of plan, but it might not necessarily be grounded in reality. So giving yourself a couple days to really think about it will be helpful. And then in terms of the energy happening, so, this weekend is a really great time with Venus in the 7th house coming into a really nice trine with Saturn and Pluto. First and foremost, to have important conversations in relationships that help to restabilize and reignite passions in all important relationships, to regenerate and restore the energy in that relationship. And this could come in the form of, romantic partnerships, marriage partnerships, long-term committed personal relationships outside of romantic partnerships, so business partnerships, close friendships, close relationships with family members. This could also be a great time to renegotiate some sort of contract or agreement, so it benefits you a lot more so coming into this week. This is also a great time to reach out to people for help when it comes to working on important plans or important problems, especially plans related to short distance travel, to vehicles, to siblings and extended family members, and to marketing or communication. And so reaching out to somebody for help with that and bouncing ideas off of them can be very beneficial for you moving forward. Or it could even be like that you're dealing with a lot of bureaucratic stuff, and this could be a great time for you to reach out to somebody for help and to get that feedback. The other thing too is that romance is really enhanced this week, especially into the weekend. We have Venus in this really nice trine with Neptune in the 5th house. And so this is a great time to just do something fun with your partner and to engage in some sort of romantic endeavor, to go out in the town and just have a little bit of fun. And if it's not with a partner, then go out and have fun with a close friend or something like that. Do something creative or spiritually oriented or something fantastical. That's Neptune, right? All right. And then for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So for you guys, this Jupiter opposition to Mercury is happening in your 1st and in your 7th house. And so this could be an important time for communication within relationships, for forming new partnerships and collaborations, for connecting with people, on a one-on-one basis in general, and having those important conversations. Important information could come in that helps you to gain a broader sense of perspective through relationship and through connection or collaboration with other people. And so these are all things that are potential. I would definitely recommend waiting until after Wednesday to make decisions based on these ideas that come about. But there could be something set in motion, even if it's a little overly idealistic at the beginning. The end results will be beneficial for you when you really take into account this new information coming in. The other thing that's happening is that Venus is in your 6th house, which is the house of work and daily routines, coming into a beautiful trine with Saturn and Pluto, which is in your 2nd house of finance. And so there's been a lot of struggle for Sagittarius in terms of trying to restructure your financial situation in a way that makes it less oppressive, where it feels less burdensome. So letting go of oppressive, burdensome energies when it comes to your finances, when it comes to things like debt, potentially, or other people's money, or when it comes to restrictions and limitations that are being placed on your resources, or when it comes to your work and the way that you create resources through your own efforts. There's been a sort of a restrictive energy here, or a burdensome energy, and this week your hard work might pay off and you might get some sort of recognition or help from a coworker. You might be able to figure out a way to restructure your daily routine so they're more balanced and more in harmony, and so that helps to relieve that oppressive energy in the second house. And money could come in through your work and through your efforts this week, and so that could help to alleviate some of the issues as well. This is also an energy with Venus in the 6th house coming into a really nice sextile with Neptune and Pisces. And so this is a really great week to turn inward and to focus on your creative routines and your spiritual practices, especially behind closed doors and within the home. Let's see. We got Capricorn and Capricorn rising. So for Capricorn rising, this is a week where you're going to want to be coming back into balance between the busyness of everyday life, which has been enhanced especially the last week. So you might have been very busy in your day-to-day work routines, in your day-to-day habits. Just in general, a lot of busyness tends to come in when you have the Sun and Mercury, especially they've been combust in your 6th house. There's a lot to do. And so this is a time where you can come back into balance by focusing inwards, focusing on your spiritual practices, going on a little bit of a retreat, even if it's just for a couple of hours in your own space. Just taking time for solitude and seclusion can help you to really come back into focus, come back into a better perspective on what's going on in your life, and so that all can be enhanced in one way or another. This is also a really great week for you to alleviate some of that restrictive, burdensome energy that's been in your sign. So especially if you have your Sun, Moon, Rising in Capricorn, really this week anywhere from like 17 degrees to 25 degrees, because Venus will be going through that entire all of those degrees making trines with your ascendant and with your sun, and you've been dealing with this really burdensome, oppressive energy of Saturn and Pluto, which makes it feel like you have so much on your shoulders, you have so much to do, you can't relax, you can't rest, you can't take time for yourself. And this is a week where you can come back into balance by taking time for yourself, by engaging in romance, going out with your partner, connecting with people that allow you to open up and have fun, engaging in your hobbies, your interests, the things that you love to do, spending money on something luxurious and enjoying that and experiencing joy. Connecting with anything that taps into that experience of joy this week is really going to benefit you, and it's going to help you to work on restructuring your life in a way that suits you better moving forward, so you don't have so much burden, so much weight on your shoulders, so much oppressive energy. And so that's going to be really nice for you, actually. This is a really great time for communication, especially in romantic partnership or creative forms of communication through writing or storytelling or something along those lines, or conveying spiritual information in a way that's fun, connecting with children in play or in a fantastical sort of way. Engaging in that type of play with children, or creative types of play with children, is really favored this week and can really help to loosen things up for you, because you've been carrying a lot of weight, and this is a great week to relax. The universe is telling you, calm down, take some time, and just enjoy life. All right. And then Aquarius and Aquarius rising. You're going to have this energy with Jupiter and Mercury in opposition in your 11th and 5th house. And so this is a really great week to make plans with friends or social networks or groups of people to connect in ways that are really in alignment with your passions and the things that you love to do, your hobbies, your interests, the things that you do for play and to experience joy. And so this is a great week to go out and have an adventure with your friends, to connect with a new group of people that share the same hobbies and interests that you really enjoy. And so that's something that you could really do this week, especially after the middle of this week. And then you have this really great energy here with Saturn and Venus coming into this really nice trine. And so Saturn's been in your 12th house, and so that can feel a little bit isolating. You might be spending more time in solitude and seclusion with Saturn transiting your 12th house, which is very common for this transit, which lasts a couple of years. And with Pluto there too, it might feel very isolating. At the very least, it feels like you're misunderstood, and it feels like you're going through this process of purging and surrendering and letting go, and other people might not fully understand what it is that you're going through, so it feels like you have to kind of go through it alone. And this is a week where you can really lean on your family members. We're connecting in relationship with people, with the people closest to you. It doesn't even have to be your biological family, but connecting with your soul family, connecting with friends that feel like family, connecting with people that are a really great support system for you, that play that supportive role. That can really help you to feel less isolated, to feel more connected, and to feel more supported, so you can continue to do the work that you need to do to purge any old structures or old conditioning that doesn't need to come with you when Saturn and Pluto move into your first house, which will be starting to happen next year with Saturn. So this is a great time to reach out to your family. This is a great time to spend time at home, and that's going to really help to bring you back into balance. And then there's a really nice energy here too, where you could do something really creative in your home, and that could help you out financially, or you might want to be spending money this week to enhance your home in a way that makes it much more beautiful. And so beautifying the home and redecorating and making it, you know, more aesthetically pleasing, that's going to be favored for you this week as well. And then for Pisces and for Pisces rising, so you have this energy of Jupiter and Mercury coming into an opposition in your 10th and in your 4th house. And so this is a great time for you to come back into balance between your home life and your family life, and what it is that you're doing in terms of your career and what you're putting out there into the world. And, you know, spending time at home, having really important conversations with family members, making plans involving your home and your family. These things can really help you to step out of focusing on the bigger picture so much, which, you know, you might be very focused on expanding your career, or, you know, your career area of life might be just kind of going a lot more smoothly for you, for Pisces people in particular. And so this is a time where you might want to shift your focus and come back into balance by communicating with your family. Call your mom, you know, go visit your brother, whatever it is. This is a time where that can help you to sort of rebalance your energy in a lot of different ways. An important communication can come in through family or through your work this week as well. And this communication could be something that could really help to benefit you and enhance your life in a lot of different ways. And then the energy with Taurus, with Venus and Taurus in this really nice trine with Saturn and Capricorn, this is a great week to communicate with your friends and your social networks, especially with friends in which the relationship has been strained, because there's been a lot of energy around purging and letting go of important friendships, or letting go of friendships that are too burdensome, too oppressive, where they're trying to control you or limit you in some sort of way, or relationships with friends that are just not good for you anymore, that have become toxic. But if there are friendships that you want to hold on to, or if there's a position in an organization or a group that you want to hold on to, but it's been strained and it's been a struggle in some sort of way, this is a really great time to open up and communicate, especially on Friday and Saturday, to really revitalize and enhance that relationship, so you can regenerate the energy behind it and create a greater sense of stability and longevity within those relationships moving forward. It can be like a reset, and it can be like you recommitting yourself to important friendships and important networks this week. And so that's really important, and that can really help alleviate some of that burden, because you might be feeling like you're struggling, you might be feeling like you don't have anyone, or you don't have the same networks that you usually have, and you can, you know, bring back the networks that you really want to be a part of this week. And then this Neptune energy, especially for you if you have your Pisces sun, moon, rising around 18 degrees. So I would say anywhere from 16 to 20 degrees especially will be feeling this the most. You're going to have this Neptune on your ascendant, which is this very dreamy, altruistic sort of energy that disconnects you with reality in a lot of ways. But this is a really great time for creative pursuits, especially involving communication. Also, if you wanted to take a little short distance trip with your friends, this would be a great week to do that too. But, you know, creative communication is enhanced for you this week, and creativity in general. And so if you want to do a creative project, if you want to paint or do something artistic, this is a week where it's favored for you, and a lot of benefits can come to you through engaging with that energy. Benefits that you might not even realize, because they transcend this sort of physical reality with that Neptunian energy. It's like an etheric energy, something that is stimulated energetically by the act of creation, that can really help to enhance your energy moving forward. And so that's what's going on there. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and subscribing to my channel and joining my Facebook group if that's what you want to do. And if you want to book a personal reading with me that goes more in depth and talks about all of your placements and transits and all of that, I have several different reading types. I really especially have been loving doing single question readings lately because I really get to focus. I'm really good at focusing really on detailed on like specific things. And so when people ask me these questions, I like kind of go on a tangent there. And I feel like I do my best readings with these single question readings because they're so focused and so detailed. But anyway, so if you want to book a reading with me, you can do so down in the description below. The link is always there. And thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.